So McDavid's out, Kane is cranky, their goalies can't stop the puck, and the Oilers can't seem to win games. To chat about it, let's bring in Jamie McLennan and Cheryl Pounder. Cheryl, after checking your long list, what's the biggest problem plaguing the Oilers right now?
I think that's a loaded question because you mentioned the myriad of issues that are going on, so it's hard to define just one. But if you have to, I would have to look at the individual mistakes that being made, and they're certainly costing the Edmonton Oilers. Whether it's the way that a goaltender is playing the puck poorly, or perhaps it's Darnell Nurse getting caught up ice. Maybe it's in overtime, a lost assignment in Draisaitl, or how about in the offensive zone, taking 2 stick infractions when you're 200 feet away from your own zone. So all of these are individual errors that have to be cleaned up. And it is utmost importance right now that it gets done. Why, Gino? Because Connor McDavid is out. And you are not going to outscore your opponent if you make those costly mistakes.
I agree. It is the perfect storm of inconsistency because we have seen him start games like a house on fire, score early, all the passion in the building, throwing shots at the net, creating a lot of chances. And then there is the individual mistakes or something that gets them off kilter, off their game, and they can't recover. And to me, that's where you've got to shut things down, where it's a bad save or not a save at the right time, a bad goal, a play that can't be made by a veteran player. The bottom line is this team has to find more consistency in their game, the game within the game, and they'll right the track.
Frustration is starting to set in. Take example, Evander Kane. He's got 1 assist, -6 so far. Last game he played only 14 minutes and admitted he actually fought just so he could sit in the box instead of just sit there on the bench. Jamie, is this becoming a real problem for Jay Woodcroft?
I don't think so. I think it's Evander Kane competing. But if Evander Kane wants more ice time, play better. He hasn't played well enough. That's when you look at his game, it's been inconsistent. I just talked about the inconsistencies with the Edmonton Oilers, and he's a big part of it. Turnovers, bad plays at the offensive zone blue line. And yes, Stuart Skinner allowed that shorthanded goal. But if you go back on that play, watch the entry into the zone. It's Evander Kane who goes over the offensive zone blue line and takes a snapshot from along the boards that misses the net and goes all the way down to the other end. That's not a smart play from Evander Kane's standpoint. You can tell he's frustrated. This isn't a problem for Jay Woodcroft. This is a problem for the whole team. And it's not just Evander Kane. They've got to get the ship righted because everyone is trying to do it on their own, and they can't do it on their own. This is a team concept. They have to be better.
Well, yeah, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, Noodles, because it is. It's one of those individual mistakes. And listen, when you're a competitive athlete, you demand, you expect of yourselves, and sometimes that frustration certainly can show. And it's showing in Evander Kane. And I'm not sure that the dressing room really gives 2 craps, right? And whether Woodcroft is really listening. But at the end of the day, you got to find a way to point the finger at yourself. You got to be accountable as an athlete. You got to find a way to correct the mistakes you're making and lead by example on the ice. And that's how you build momentum. That's how you garner good shifts. You create energy. You create a wave. And let's face it, this is an Edmonton Oilers team. You know what they can do. You know what their acquisitions can do. But they have to play together. There has to be a chemistry. They got to find that rhythm. And they're not going to find that rhythm if you're not willing to take accountability for the way you're playing.
Just 2 weeks ago, the Oilers were the preseason cup favorite for many. Now they're already 9 points behind the Golden Knights for top spot in the Pacific Division.